Okay, so we're going to have a little think about the capital city of England because of St. George's Day. And can you remember the capital city, what it was called? It was called London. And London is in the east of England, whereas we are in the south west. So you would have to travel all the way up to here to get to London. Now, you could explore London a bit further by going on like the Google Maps and Google Earth and locating some of the places that we're going to see later. And on Google Earth and the maps, there's this little person that you can drag onto the road, and then you'll be able to see the buildings that are there, and they'll come up on your computer. What I've got here, though, is some postcards. Oh my gosh. Okay, they're from 1991, when I was 10 years old. Oh my gosh, really? When I went to London, I think this is the first time I went to London, actually, and my nan took me, and she lived in Stevenage, so we went on the train to London, and I've never forgot it. It was one of the most exciting places that I went to when I was a child, because of all the different things I saw and the different things we went on and tried out. So what I've got is some postcards from that time, but also some more postcards from the times that I've been since. And they have lots and lots of the different places in London that London is famous for, so the different landmarks. So let's have a look at these postcards. Yeah, look, 1991. Oh my goodness me. Right, so what have I got on here? So first of all, we've got a place in London called Trafalgar Square, and it's next to this famous gallery here. And that's the National Gallery. Lots and lots of important artwork are in there. Can you see we've got these fountains, and you've got a big monument here. Oops. And on there, there's a person at the top, and it's called Nelson's Column. Alright. And there are some lions in Trafalgar Square as well. I don't know if you can see them very well in here, but maybe you could Google them. Not real lions, some statues. And actually, if you went to Trafalgar Square, there's always loads and loads of pigeons there too. And along here, lots of different, like talented people who stand in the street called buskers who will play lots of songs. And also, I don't know if you've ever been to London, you get people dress up as like Star Wars characters and do different things there. This postcard is of Westminster Abbey, and in here, this is where like some members of the royal family might get married, or if there's a special service that you might that the royal family would have, they would have it here. It's very massive inside, and it's right next to the Houses of Parliament. So here's the Houses of Parliament. It's at night time, it's a bit unclear, but this famous building here is where the Prime Minister and the MPs and members of Parliament will go and meet, and they decide lots of important things for our country, including all the laws that we have to follow. And then, do you recognise something here? Do you know what this is called? It's Big Ben. Do you remember when we did New Year's Eve at school, when we came back at Christmas, after Christmas, we talked about the clock? And remember, Big Ben gets its name from which part of this tower? Just the bell inside, isn't it? Now, if you are from a different country, this is something that people think about when they think of London, the famous Big Ben. And just over here, you know, we're talking about Westminster Abbey. There it is, just over there behind it, if you can see. So that's how close they are. Now, if you go down from the Houses of Parliament on the famous river in London, do you know what the famous river in London is called? It's called the River Thames. You would come to this famous bridge. This bridge is called Tower Bridge, and the part that goes across here where the cars go on can open up like this, so that the boats can travel through. So we've got Tower Bridge, and near Tower Bridge is the Tower of London. There it is, can you see? There's the Tower of London. So it's quite close to the Tower Bridge. It's like a big castle here, look, can you see? Like all of the wall that goes all the way around it. The boundary wall to stop people being able to get in. And then we've got the tower itself in the middle. Oops, that's it. And back in history, that's where they would put their prisoners. Guy Fawkes story. Do you remember we talked about the Tower of London in the Guy Fawkes story? Yes, you won't want to be put in there. There's also something else they keep in the Tower of London. Do you know what they keep in there and protect? These special things here, the crown jewels. Look, the crown. All these special jewels. These are worth lots and lots of money and are priceless, aren't they? And it's a very famous place where they keep these for the royal family. And speaking of the royal family, where does the Queen live? So here's the building. Do you recognise it? Have any of you been there for afternoon tea? It's Buckingham Palace. Buckingham Palace, look. This is where the Queen lives. And if you look there, there's the mast there for the flags. And if the Queen was in, they have a flag above the palace so that we know she's there. Now, further down the river I was talking about is this building. Now, some of you might have been here for events. Do you know what this place is? It's called the O2 at the moment, but in the year 2000, which was the millennium, they built this building, so it's quite new. It was built for the year 2000. How many years old would it be now then if we're in 2020? Yeah, it's about 20 years. And this building was called the Millennium Dome when it was first built. It had a museum of things inside so you could find out lots and lots of stuff. But now they have lots of big concerts. So you can go and see people like Little Mix in there. And then the last postcard we've got here. Now this is to do with this place. It's called Piccadilly Circus. So there's a nice fountain there. At Piccadilly Circus, you can go off to different streets, to the shops down one side, off to like big cinemas and places in the other. And here on the wall is a huge advertising screen, and they're like big giant videos that play all the time. And what can you spot in front of the big videos? The famous red double-decker buses. Now, if people, again, in different countries, they would think of the double-decker red buses when they think of London, and they would also think of the black taxi cabs. Okay. Right, so that's lots of things and famous landmarks and places of London that I've shown you on the postcards. There's a link below where you can go and watch a video of, I think it's a child and a rat, I think, or a mouse, where they go round and look at some of these landmarks. So you can watch that. It's a BBC little show that they put on a few years ago. And then, or you can also look for others if you want, see what else you can find out about different buildings there, especially if there's one that you liked. Or do you know other landmarks that I've missed out? Because there are so many there. There's like the Shard, there's the Gherkin, there's the BT kind of tower. There's so many different places in London to go and visit. There's London Zoo, Madame Tussauds, there's Harrods, a really famous posh shop. Loads and loads of places that you could go and explore together with your family. Or if you've been before, have you got photographs that you could get out and show us and talk about? Anyway, once you've watched the video and you've thought about the places in London, your challenge then is to show me something about London. So it could be, you can get some Lego or Duplo, whatever kind of construction you have at home. Could you build yourself a Big Ben? Could you build yourself a tower, the Tower Bridge that opens up? Could you build Buckingham Palace? So you could build something. You could draw me a picture of something that you've learnt about. could write a little sentence about something you've learnt about. Anything you can about London. What can you find out? And show me in any way that you want to. Good luck.